Welcome to Hornbill TV. This is anchor Kekrizanyo Solo. You're now watching Hornbill TV's Northeast Express. Justice Dr. Krishna Kumar on Friday took oath as the 8th Chief Justice of the Manipur High Court at the Darbar Hall in Raj Bhavan. He was appointed following the Supreme of Justice Siddharth Mridul. The appointment was made according to the recommendation by the Supreme Court Collegium, which emphasized Justice Krishna Kumar's legal acumen and integrity. Prior to his elevation, Justice Krishna Kumar was a practicing advocate specializing in civil constitutional and service matters, particularly constitutional law at the Madras High Court.
Justice of the High Court of Manipur.
Having been appointed Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur,
Do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by the law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment perform the duties of my office.
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
And without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
Manipur police on Friday arrested 7 more individuals in connection with arson and property damage incidents involving elected members of November 16. This brings the total number of arrests to 32, and according to Manipur police officials, the new arrests were made on November 20 and 21. Those arrested have been identified as Wahengbam Jyoti Kumar Singh 26, Kundarpakam Bikram Singh 41, Monish Nepram 31 and Aribam Mirachandar Sharma 41, Ilangba Harisan Singh alias Dada 34, Lorembam Norojit Singh alias Noni Singh 40, Lamayum Kedarnath Sharma 37, and furthermore investigation is ongoing as of now, said the Manipur police on the social media platform X. Police also conducted search operations and area domination by security forces in the fringe and vulnerable areas of Hill and Valley district. Meanwhile, as curfew is relaxed in Imphal from 5 a.m. to 12 noon local time, people were seen purchasing essential items at Koirambam market in Imphal.
I already told, I already condemned that those who are genuinely agitating against the killings of the innocent people, they are genuine. Their movement, their agitation, we support, because everybody has right to democratically agitate. But in the name of the democratic movement, some gangs have looted, burned the honorable minister's houses and looted their properties. So appropriate legal action we have already initiated. We have already identified through CCTV who's who, and it is very, I feel shame to express this publicly that मणिपुर में ऐसा ही हो रहा है, एजिटेशन के नाम पे लूट कर रहा है, ये बहुत शर्म की बात है. We will take legal action.
Sir, there is a public demand that Manipur should have a separate governor.
Separate governor है ये क्या है भाई?
Further, Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, while condemning the recent attacks in the state, said that the government support those who are genuinely agitating against the killings of innocent people and are genuine because everyone has the right to democratically agitate. But in the name of the democratic movement, some gangs have looted, burnt ministers' houses and looted their properties. The government have identified those involved through CCTV and have already initiated appropriate legal action against them. There was on the recent Manipur violence. Heading on to the next news. As many as 4 Bangladeshi nationals were arrested on Thursday from Udaipur railway station in Guwahati district of Tripura. The arrests were made by the government railway police GRP unit of the Tripura police. What came as a shocker for the police officials was that all of them had an Indian Aadhaar cards in their possession. The matter raised grave concerns as Aadhaar is considered to be one of the mandatory documents used in the country for financial transactions. Even though it is not considered to be a proof of identity, Aadhaar makes an individual eligible for a range of government benefits including access to banking, ration cards, etc. Speaking on the issue, Gautam Debarma, in charge of the GRP station Udaipur, said all of them were en route to Bangalore. Prima facie evidence suggests that they had entered Indian territory unlawfully through Belonia in adjoining South Tripura district. They hired an auto rickshaw from there to reach Udaipur railway station to catch the train to Selda. Preliminary investigation indicated that they were supposed to reach Bangalore and settle down there. On being asked about the Aadhaar cards, he said out of the 4 persons, 3 females were carrying printed originals like Aadhaar cards with them. The male companion also showed an Aadhaar card from his phone, and whether these cards are real or fake is a matter of investigation. It should be noted here that a sinister racket has been active in Tripura, which has been facilitating Bangladeshi infiltrators in getting logistic support. Top sources in the police department said Bangladeshis are now somehow getting access to documents like permanent residence certificates and Aadhaar cards using their links in the government departments. A high-level probe on this is also underway.
চারজন একজন ছেলে আর 3 জন মহিলা ওনাদের কাছে 3টা আধার কার্ড পাওয়া গেছে একজনের ছেলের তার কাছে ওই মোবাইলে পাওয়া গেছে আধার কার্ড দেখতে ভুয়া মনে হইতেছে কিন্তু ইনভেস্টিগেশনের পরে বোঝা যাবে যে আধার কার্ডটা কি সত্য কিনা তারপরে বাসিন্দা তারা বাংলাদেশে 4 জন বাংলাদেশে তারা ব্যাঙ্গালোর যাওয়ার শিয়ালদা হইয়া ব্যাঙ্গালোর যাওয়ার জন্য তারা এসেছে তারা কেউ না কেউ গাইড করে নিয়ে এসেছে তারা বলতেছে জায়গা বলতে পারে না 1.5 ঘন্টা সময় অটোতে চড়ে তারা উদয়পুর রেল স্টেশনে এসেছে
এই জায়গা থেকে স্যার গাইড করে নিয়ে এসেছে ওই যে মূল পান্ডা থেকে আইছে স্যার এটা এখন পুলিশ পাওয়া গেছে
ওই পান্ডাটা এখনো হদিস পাওয়া যায় না ইনভেস্টিগেশনে
কোন জায়গা থেকে আইছে স্যার
তারা বাংলাদেশ থেকে বিলোনিয়া বাইয়া আইছে এমনই
কটার সময় ধরা পড়ছে আপনাদের কাছে
আজকে কাঞ্চনজঙ্ঘা ট্রেনের আগে অনুমান 7টা 10-15 এমন হইতে পারে
এখন কি আপনাদের হেফাজতে আছে
এখন আমাদের হেফাজতে আছে আমি ওসিআর কুপুরে ইনফর্ম করেছি ওসিআর কুপুরে এসে স্টাফ এসে নিয়ে যাবে এবং হ্যান্ডওভার দেওয়া হবে প্রসেস মতো কালকে তারা কেস রেজিস্টার হবে এবং আজকেই তারা কোর্টে ফরওয়ার্ড করতে পারে
Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma has announced the government's decision to establish a standard operating procedure SOP to regulate the use of sirens, tinted glasses and flickering lights in the state. This initiative is designed to alleviate public discomfort and will be strictly enforced once finalized. The Chief Minister addressed growing public concerns regarding VIP culture, emphasizing the importance of distinguishing between genuine security needs and misuse of privileges. The government aims to balance the need for safety and security with minimizing inconvenience to the citizens. To tackle the issue, the Chief Minister convened a meeting with key officials including the Deputy Chief Minister overseeing Home Police, the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police, DGP. The Police Department was instructed to draft an SOP specifying the conditions and individuals permitted to use sirens, tinted glasses and flickering lights. The SOP, scheduled for cabinet review in the coming week, will provide clear guidelines to ensure that these measures are used appropriately. It will also incorporate protocols for individuals under defined security categories such as Z+, Z and Y, ensuring their safety while preventing misuse that could disturb the public.
Yes, I have been receiving a large number of complaints and concerns by citizens about what people are calling VIP culture. It is, of course, a matter of concern, but we also have to look at it from multiple angles. There is a concern for security and safety, which should not be mixed with the aspect of culture as such. But safety and security is one aspect, which is something that we personally feel is important, should not be compromised. But if that particular safety and security concern becomes more of an attitude and it is used in a wrong way, then I think that is what really is the problem. Therefore, it is important for us to regulate it in the right way. And just last week, we had a meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister in charge Home and all the other officials, the DGP, the Chief Secretary, and we have asked the police department to prepare an SOP as to who can use sirens and who cannot, and who can have tinted glasses and who cannot, and at the same time the flickering lights, who can put and who cannot, and very strictly implement those provisions and ensure that the protocols that need to be followed while using the siren and the lights and other devices should be very strictly implemented and done as per the SOP. So therefore, steps are being taken. By next week, we will be bringing that to the cabinet, and we will be creating a very strict SOP as to who can and who cannot use these different sirens or glasses, tinted glasses, or flickering lights, and where and when it can be used and how it should be used. But again, as I said, the matter of also security and safety also is a concern. There are protocols that need to be followed for Z plus category, Z category, Y category, and these are defined protocols which again cannot be compromised. So therefore, those aspects need to be balanced, and as I mentioned, keeping the safety and security matter in front of us, we will work towards ensuring that this safety and security is not again abused in a manner in which it becomes a nuisance to the public. So the balancing of these two is what is required, and we hope that through this SOP that will be coming out very soon, which we will be passing in the cabinet, we should be able to minimize the inconvenience caused to the people.
Famed for constructing weapon drop box at his residence during the peak of violence when weapons were looted, Manipur Minister Leishengtem Susindro is once again in the limelight. Manipur CAF and PD ministers have fortified his residence at Kurai in Imphal district with barbed wires, iron nets, and had installed temporary bunkers for security forces following an attack by an irate mob on November 16 night. Earlier, he was in the limelight for driving a bulldozer when a devastating flood hit Manipur early this year. Susindro Mete said that it has become an absolute necessity to guard the perimeters of his residence with barbed wires. Iron fences, now as agitators on November 16, came with electric drills, hammers with an intention to cause arson, loot and cause damages to life and properties. This is the third time his properties have been attacked since May 3rd last year as the ethnic violence started. Recounting on what happened on November 16th when an irate mob stormed and vandalized houses of at least 17 legislators, Susindro said he was not present on that day. Around 6:30 p.m. local time, an irate mob of around 3,000 people, mostly manned, attempted to barrage in fired gunshots at his residence. He said he instructed his security forces, including BSF, not to cause any harm to the mob. However, to disperse them, they had fired blank fires in the air. Susindro, however, added that now they will retaliate if attacked again. Government of India Ministry of Rural Development organized a regional rural workshop under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana PMAYG on November 21 at Hotel Taj Vivanta, Guwahati to discuss on whatever people are receiving the benefits of rural development scheme. The program was attended by top government officials of Ministry of Rural Development and many other rural development officers from various places across Northeast. During the workshop, the participants discussed various problems and their solutions. The Ministry of Rural Development is entrusted with the task of accelerating the socio-economic development of rural India. Its focus is on special rural grants for health and education, piped filtered drinking water programs, public and affordable housing programs, public work programs and grants for rural roads and infrastructure. It also provides special grants to rural local bodies. A person identified as Melan Sainkli was arrested on Thursday for threatening to kill people and showing a pistol. On receiving a written complaint from one Tharmal Mauto, a resident of Umkhawai, Jirang, police in Nongpo conducted an inquiry and arrested the accused. One's unlicensed country-made pistol with 4 live ammunition was also recovered from his possession. A case has been registered under Arms Act. The complainant had said that the accused came to his house in Umkhawai village and threatened to shoot and shot 3 people. The body of a 22-year-old man who went missing 10 days ago was found hanging from a tree inside the now-defunct Border Routes Task Force campus in Nagatila, Silchar on Thursday. The body was notified by workers who had come to clear the jungle and was recognized by the deceased brothers by the clothes he was wearing. 22-year-old Imran Barbuya, a resident of Alitikar and working as a private driver, went missing after he left home 10 days back. He reportedly had argument with his wife the day he went missing. His mobile phone remains switched off and the body has been sent to Silchar Medical College Hospital, SMHCH, for postmortem.
সপ্তাহ 10 দিন হয়ে গেছে তার ঘর থেকে বাইরে গেছিল ঘরে একটু পারিবারিক তোমার তার বউর লগে একটু কথা কাটাকাটি হয়েছে ওর পরে তোমার হে ঘর থেকে বাইরে গেছে হে তো ড্রাইভার হিসাবে হে তারা মনসুন তারা গাড়িতে গেছে গিয়া বুঝায় আর হে তো আর না ফোন মারতে মারতে ফোনও তার সুইচ অফ এরপরে এখানে বিয়াটিফা কাজ চলে তোমার তারা বাউন্ডারি পুরানো বাউন্ডারি ভাঙিয়া নতুন বাউন্ডারি করা হইতো তারা লেবার কাজ চলে বলো লেবারে গিয়া গাছ কাটার সময় জঙ্গল সাফ করার সময় গিয়া দেখা তারা ঝুলন্ত অবস্থায় একটা মৃতদেহ দেখার পরে তারা লগে লগে এখানে সামনে একটা বাসার মধ্যে তারা কইছে যে ওলা ওলা একটা লাশ দেখা যায় ওই পরে তোমার তার ভাই ছোটো ভাই যে তারা এখানে ভাই আমরা গ্রামের আর একটা ছেলে কইল অনু দেখছান গিয়া তোরে দেখছান হে নি ও দেখার পরে হে তার শৈল কাপড় লাগাইল যেটা এটা দেখে হে চিনি লেগেছে এমনি মুখও তো চিনা যান না এখানে সপ্তাহ 10 দিন হয়ে গেছে তো মা ফসি গেছে ফসার পরে মুখ তো চিনা যায় না এমনি কাপড়ে তারা চিনি লেগেছে চপ্পল যেটা ওইটাও চিনছে ও চিনার পরে গিয়ে রাস্তা তারা সব আমরা ভাড়ার মানুষও বহুত মানুষ গেছে যাওয়ার পরে প্রশাসন বিআরটি ক্যাম্পেও জানাইছে তারারে জানানির পরে তোমার প্রশাসন আইছে প্রশাসন হওয়ার পরে তারা এটা ঝুলন্ত বড়বইয়া বাবার নাম আর ইমরান ছেলের নাম ইমরান হে ড্রাইভারি করতো প্লাম্বার ফাইবার কাজ করে বাচ্চা একটা আসলো মারা গেছে আর তার বউ আছে ছোট বাচ্চা ওর পরে জন্মর পরে মারা গেছে কয়েকদিন পরে মারা গেছে আমি তার দাদি আসুই না আর চাচাইনুসাই না আসুই না আরো বাবা নাই বাবা স্ট্রোক হইয়া মারা গেছে ওইটা অতটুকু আর তো কিছু হওয়ার
India has reiterated its call for urgent reform of the United Nations Security Council UNSC with Parvathaneni Harish, India's permanent representative to the UN, stating that the current structure undermines the organization's credibility and effectiveness. Speaking at the plenary of the intergovernment negotiations on UNSC reform on Wednesday, Harish said India agrees with the assertion that the UN Security Council in its current design is detrimental to the credibility and effectiveness of the UN and must be addressed at the earliest. Harish also clarified India's position on the reform process, rejecting claims made by so-called cross-regional groups based on faith or religion, emphasizing that such factors should not serve as the basis for representing in the Council. In his statement, Harish reaffirmed India's commitment to a reformed UNSC that reflects the evolving global dynamics and the diverse interests of the international community. India's reform proposals remain focused on ensuring all regions have a fair and meaningful voice in the Security Council decision-making processes.
India welcomes the engagement of the Principality of Liechtenstein in presenting an updated model. This reflects Liechtenstein's desire for a stronger Security Council. My delegation agrees with the assertion that the UN Security Council in its current design is detrimental to the credibility and effectiveness of the UN and must be addressed at the earliest. We need a UN Security Council that reflects the new multipolar world of today. In this regard, we are also in agreement with Liechtenstein's addition of having at least one member from the small island developing states. My delegation does not support any claims being made by so-called cross-regional groups on the basis of faith or religion, which cannot be the sole basis for representation in the Council. My delegation would also like to engage with Liechtenstein on the question of representation itself. This model does not extend veto powers to any of the new members. In addition, the creation of the category of long-term renewable seats for 8 to 10 years does not again address full representation of developing countries. We do not accept this position. Further, the inherent contradiction in Para 2 between permanent basis and renewable term stands out as a key defining feature of the amended model by Liechtenstein. My delegation points to the text of footnote 1, which refers to the question of creation of new non-permanent seats. Let us be clear. This model is limited to expansion in the non-permanent category only. The semantics of serving on a permanent basis as contained in Para 2 does not accurately reflect this essential point. Once we agree on this aspect, it's clear that this model merely tinkers with the status quo. It's not intended to bring out real or comprehensive reform that member states and their citizens are aspiring for, and the UN is found wanting. My delegation also seeks clarity on the reason for bestowing a special status to some cross-regional groups, especially the League of Arab States. Other regional groups such as the African Union, the OAS, and even the European Union could have a reasonable case for such representation. India underscores that equitable geographical representation in the permanent category, in particular the inclusion of regions such as Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America and the Caribbean, is essential for a legitimate and effective council. My delegation will continue to call for a constructive and democratic approach as stipulated in the UN Charter and Resolution 62/557 that created the IGN. A record number of heads of state and government and foreign ministers have put their weight behind the need for reform during this high-level week in their national statements. At this time when multilateralism is facing so many challenges, we should rise to the occasion. We must begin text-based negotiations at the earliest to address all 5 clusters holistically. India will constructively engage towards the realization of a reformed and efficient UN Security Council.
Amid scarcity of water in Guwahati, another water pipeline burst in Chenikuti area on Friday. According to information, the incident took place on the road from Chenikuti to Silipukuri, where repair work was done by JICA Gammon on few days ago. Reportedly, the pipeline suddenly burst when an auto heading towards Navagraha Silipukuri from Uzan Bazar drove over it, affecting movement of people for a long time. Later, the department managed to shut down the pipelines. Locals said JICA Gammon has repaired the pipeline a few days ago. However, no caution was given. Locals also say that when the water pipeline work was in progress, engineers did not come to see the work. Another local said that the cement has not even dried up yet and requested Guwahati Development Minister Ashok Singhal to look into the matter.
নতুন কাম কৰিছিলে এইটো ৰিপেয়াৰিঙৰ কাম এই শুকুৱাই নাই চিমেণ্টটো মছলাটো ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টক খবৰ দিয়া গৈছে আহিব জায়গাৰ এইটো পাইপলাইন হয় কামখিনি কৰিব এতিয়া পানীখিনি এনেই গৈ আছে অথলে গৈ আছে মানুহৰ এটুপি খোৱাওনিৰ কাৰণে মানুহে লাইন পাতি আছে পাহাৰৰ নিজৰাৰ এনেকৈ অপচয় হৈছে পানী অশোক সিনহাল ডাঙৰীয়াই গুৱাহাটী উন্নয়ন অলপ চাই অলপ চকু দিব লাগে এইটো ব্যস্ত ৰাস্তা এইটো মানে এইটো আপোনাৰ শিলপুখুৰী আৰু গুৱাহাটী ক্লাবৰ এইটো কানেকশ্যন হয় এইটো ৰাস্তা এইপিনে নৱগ্ৰহ এইটো মোষ্ট এচেঞ্চিয়েল ৰাস্তাটো এতিয়া ব্লক হৈ আকৌ এতিয়া মেইন ৰোডত এতিয়া জাম হ'ব এইপিনে গাড়ী মটৰ আহিছিলে এতিয়া সেই মেইন ৰোডৰে এতিয়া জাম হ'ব বস্তুবিলাক এতিয়া डिपार्टमेंट को आई ऐसे बोली कुछ
हम उजान बाजार से नवग्रह जा रहा था तो इस बीच में गाड़ी पाइप जो है हम लोग तो नहीं जानता ना कि ढलाई किया हुआ है तो उस पाइप में जैसे गाड़ी गया है पाइप बस्ट हो गया और पानी ऐसे चल रहा है नहीं उसको हम तो नहीं चला ड्राइवर चला रहा था अब उसको मान लीजिए कोई भी नहीं देख सकता है कि क्या है बैनर उनर कुछ नहीं था वहाँ पर बैनर उनर कुछ नहीं था ऐसे ढलाई किया हुआ था वो आपको चलने से भी आपको आप भी सोचेगा वो नहीं रास्ता ही है
আজি 6 দিন হৈছে এইটো কামটো কৰা তেওঁলোকে আহি কি চাবি লগালে কি কৰিলে কৰি লৈ পেলাই তাৰ ওপৰত বালি জাপি দি পেলাই ওপৰত অকণমান চিমেণ্ট মাৰি তেওঁলোকে কামটো কৰি বেৰিকেডটো মাৰি পেলাই থৈ গৈছে তেওঁলোকে কৈছে আমাৰ কামটো হৈ গ'ল এতিয়া আপোনালোকৰ এই লাইনত পানীটো পাব। এইটো প্ৰব্লেম ডাঙৰ প্ৰব্লেমেই হ'ল ইয়াতে চেনিগুৰিৰ ভিতৰত হ'ল। এইটো জাইকাৰ ভুলৰ, তেওঁলোকৰ কৰ্তৃপক্ষৰ ভুল। তেওঁলোকে চকু নিদিয়ে, তেওঁলোকে চকু দিব লাগিছিলে। তেওঁলোকৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰবিলাক নাহে, তেওঁলোকৰ ডাঙৰ ডাঙৰ অফিচাৰবিলাক নাহে। তেওঁলোকৰ ভুলৰ কাৰণে তেওঁলোকে সৰু সৰু সাধাৰণ কেইজনমান মিস্ত্ৰীক পঠায়, যিবিলাকে নতুন নতুন কাম চলাই আছে। তেওঁলোকে সম্পূৰ্ণ কামখিনি নাজানে। যে তেওঁলোকে চাব লাগিছিলে যে কামখিনি ভালকৈ পাৰফেক্ট হৈছে নে নাই। যে গুৱাহাটী মহানগৰত কিমানখিনি আপোনাৰ তেওঁলোকৰ গ্ৰাহক আছে, সেই গ্ৰাহকৰ সেইখিনি চাব লাগিছিলে তেওঁলোকে। কিন্তু সেই হিচাপে জাইকাই গ্ৰাহকখিনিক সেইখিনি সুবিধা দিব পৰা নাই। সেইকাৰণে য'তে ত'তে এই প্ৰব্লেম মানে এনেকুৱা চলি আছে আৰু যাতে ভৱিষ্যত কাৰো ওচৰত নহওক সেইটোৱে কামনা কৰোঁ।
That's all for now. For more news, keep watching Hornbill TV.